Yeah, welcome friends. My name is Avinash Gorakshakar, and I welcome all of you again to another interesting episode of Konexio HighFlyers. Friends, as all of you are aware, we introduce emerging companies from emerging sectors, and we make it a point to talk to the promoters and the top managements of such companies. This helps all of us to understand their company's business model, their growth journey, their future growth plans, and the aspirations of the promoters. And friends, today we are going to talk about another interesting company which operates in a very niche space and which is growing very rapidly. And the company's name is Striders Impex Limited. And I have the privilege of having both the promoters, Mr. Kumarshri Rajkumar Bahety, who is the managing director and MD of the company, and the founder promoter. Sir, welcome to the show. We also have Mr. Mustafa Esmail Kapasi, who is the MD and founder. सर
Thank
आपको
you.
भी बहुत बहुत थैंक यू सर. It's a very nice feeling to talk to both of you. We can understand your company in a much better way, so I'm quite sure, sir, in this small interaction we'll be able to understand your company in a much better way for all our investors. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So sir, first question which I would like to ask both of you, sir, how did this business journey start? Is it a first generation business जो आपने शुरू किया या आपके फादर के टाइम का था जो आपने कंटिन्यू किया? और सर डोमेस्टिक मार्केट यानी ये टॉय मार्केट में हमारी क्या पोजीशनिंग? अभी तो हम देखते हैं कि बच्चों के टॉयज बहुत बदले हुए हैं. हमारे बचपन में तो इतने ज्यादा रेंज नहीं मिलती थी, बट अभी डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में हमारी क्या पोजीशनिंग है? इफ यू कुड स्टार्ट विद दिस एंड प्लीज शेयर योर थॉट्स.
Okay, so I'll start with introducing myself, Mustafa, and the company. So basically, we both are from the toy and consumer product background. हमारा background पूरा इसी industry में रहा है all our lives. I have been into corporate life before I entered into entrepreneurship. I worked with the likes of Future Group, Reliance Retail, where I was heading the buying for Hamleys for 5 years. Again, it's a toy specialty store. Then I moved to Landmark Group in Middle East. There I was heading the buying and planning for Landmark Leisure on the Family Entertainment Center department. There I was there for 5 years. And post that, we decided to come back. I decided to come back and then, start something of my own. There, me and Mustafa collaborated together. Mustafa, again, was already into entrepreneurship. He was into his family business with his dad. I wanted to come back and start something own in India. So that's how we knew each other since the past. When I was working with Hamleys, Mustafa was one of the key suppliers to Hamleys, and I was the buyer there. So we knew each other since last 18 years. So that relationship was already there. That value system was already there. That trust was already there between both of us. And then we decided that why not start something together rather than competing against each other.
Yeah.
So that's how the business started. We both started off. So in 2021, we started off Striders Impex Limited. That's the Indian arm, basically. There, we started off with, our own brand, Pugs at Play.
Okay.
So Pugs at Play basically is all into interactive plush. That was the first entry for us into India. Toy was banned to be imported into India post 2020. New rules came into place where BIS was required, where toys needed to be imported. We collaborated with the local factory here, and we now take 100% of the capacities of that factory. That factory is based in Haldia. From there, we started off our toy journey.
Okay.
Mustafa comes back with a very, very strong licensing experience and distribution experience. मेरा experience हमेशा retail side में रहा है, on the corporate side. So basically from knowing the pulse of the customer, knowing what product line works, sourcing strategies, etc. And Mustafa has a very strong background in distribution, into licensing, where he's collaborated with multiple top brands across the globe. So like the likes of Disney, Nickelodeon, Viacom, etc. So licensing is obviously up his sleeve. So both our strengths are very different, and this collaboration helped us obviously explode the value what we both wanted to create. So Mustafa, over to you in terms of how the business is shaping up.
Yes. So again, like Kumar rightly mentioned, currently we represent, all the major international brands in the country. And besides this, we also have our own portfolio of our own IPs. Again, we distribute the brands across all the three channels of distribution which we have set up here. The first channel of distribution is modern trade stores, which we supply to all the major retailers, whether it's a Reliance, Hamleys, D-Mart, Miniso,
Correct.
Mega Mart, etc. The second format is general trade, which is, so we supply to close to 2,000 plus retail doors to a network of 75 plus sub distributors in the country.
Okay.
And the third format, the third channel of distribution for us is e-commerce and quick commerce players. So we supply to all the major e-commerce platforms like Flipkart, uh, Amazon, First Cry, and all the major quick commerce platforms like Blinkit, Zepto, Flipkart Minutes directly ourselves.
Okay.
So I think the beauty about our business is that we are not dependent on one channel of distribution. Striders has a strong presence across all the three format channels of distribution, which helps us to get the reach and visibility for the brands and reduces the concentration risk as well.
Okay. Well, I think very nicely articulated by you, Mustafa. Kumar sir, just wanted to understand that now you do a lot of licensed, you have licenses with global brands, plus you have your own portfolio. मोटा मोटी सर हमारा जो revenue है उसमें से can we say that the percentage from licensed brands and our own brand, is it similar 50-50% or is it a little different?
So 32% comes from our own brand
Okay.
overall in the Indian business, and
Okay.
the rest comes from the licensing brand. So
Okay.
it is, when we started off this company, we always had that vision that we want to create a company from India which can go global.
Okay.
For us, taking international licenses,
Yeah.
which are already known to children,
Yeah.
which helps us get entry into retail very easily. That
Correct.
was part of the overall strategy.
Okay.
With that, we obviously started developing our own IP and portfolio, like Pugs at Play, Furry Pals,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
where we introduced these with our licensing brands
Okay.
to the market. So the strategy is basically we'll keep a fine balance between licensed portfolio as well as
Okay.
our own brand portfolio,
Correct.
so that we have that overall balance strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. And plus, even in licensing, we don't work with only one licenser. We work with
Okay.
multiple licensors.
Okay.
So our risk is distributed across licensors, across
Okay.
different categories, and across different channels.
Okay.
Like if we talk about how we normally present it to the customer, like a retailer, when we go as a solution provider.
Correct.
Like if somebody wants to have a complete solution in interactive plush segment, interactive soft toy
Correct.
segment, they can
Hmm.
come to us. If
Okay.
somebody wants an entire portfolio of back to school, including school bags, licensed school bags, lunch boxes, water bottles, stationery sets, they come to us. If
Correct.
they want something in a girls accessories category, we have our own brand Girlies there. They come
Okay.
to us. So rather than selling products, we sell solutions.
Okay.
So retailers को यहाँ वहाँ देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Retailer को अपना store बनना है. They come to us. We have the price laddering done as per our research.
Okay.
We obviously have the entire width and depth, which has been designed accordingly, from a retail perspective.
Correct.
So I come from a retail background. Mustafa already knows distribution. So that strength we are trying to leverage here.
So I think very nicely put out, Kumar sir. Mustafa ji, tell me one thing that for these licensed brands, you don't tell me the names, but whatever you shared with us. I mean, normally ये agreements कितने साल के होते हैं? Whether it is a 3-year agreement or a 2-year agreement, how much is the time period when you sign up with a licensed brand? How much year का आपको duration मिलता है कि वो brand आप Indian market में supply कर सकते हो? And secondly, I also want to understand that typically, in terms of the royalty, I mean, you can give us a range. Typically, royalty कितना percentage होता है? Because these brands obviously come to you after you pay a certain amount of royalty. So typically, what is the range of royalty which you pay to these kind of companies?
Right. So the tenure of the contract varies anywhere between 1 year to 3 years. So
Okay.
what we do as a strategy is that, especially seasonal categories like back to school, we usually confine ourselves to a 1 year contract because, every year the trend changes. So depending on the trend and, depending how the season has gone for us, we get the renewals done the following
Correct.
year. For more constant categories or stable categories like toys, whether it's plush toys or whether it's role play and outdoor toys, we usually sign a longer term contract which is anywhere between 2 years and 3 years.
Okay.
So again, I think like Kumar rightly mentioned, since we've been I've had an experience in the licensing space for more than 18 years. So relationships with all the major studios is extremely strong.
Exactly.
So whenever we launch any product categories or we want to enter any new space, for us getting the licenses become relatively easier.
Correct.
Again, getting renewals, as long as you're delivering on the numbers, as
Correct.
long as you're launching products which is spread across all the different channel of distribution, you usually get your renewals done easily.
Exactly.
Which again depends, it varies between 8% to 13%,
Okay.
depending on the category and nature of product, and also the channel of distribution where you are distributing a
Okay.
particular product ranges.
Okay. No, understood. Thanks for the answer. Kumar sir, I think one question which got left out was you said that, our own brands. I was seeing, in the prospectus also, we got a lot of brands like Flurry Fast and, Girlies,
Right.
typically Breezy Kids. मुझे बताइए कुमार सर, ये कौन से कैटेगरी ऑफ बच्चों के लिए हम बनाते हैं? From the age group, what age groups have we targeted for these products? If you could tell us little in detail for, all of these products which are mentioned.
Right. So I'll talk about the products and the brands what we have already launched in the market currently, and some of them we have registered and which are under development. So let's talk about Pugs at Play. Pugs at Play is our own master brand that is a key driver for our own portfolio. This is targeted for a preschooler till 4 to 5 years of age. Now, this brand basically is an entire solution of mechanical plush, dogs, cats, rabbits. You have your koala, you have your penguins, and so on. And these all work and these all move with batteries. So there's
Okay.
obviously an instant connect to a preschooler when he obviously sees them moving. Kids
Okay.
love two things. One is vehicles and one is animals. So we are
Correct.
playing around in the animal field right now, where
Correct.
kids, every kid requires a pet.
Yeah.
Every parent doesn't want to get a pet. Yeah.
Yes.
So whenever the kid sees this toy in action on the floor, he is completely mesmerized.
Oh,
Basically, it's an impulse buy.
okay.
We have seen on the floor that once a kid sees it in action, the sale is done.
Correct.
Plus, what we're currently planning to do is we'll be planning to create content around this in the sense. So each and
Correct.
every of our toy has a name. Like we have 5 ranges of dogs. Each one has a
Okay.
separate name.
Correct. Okay.
One is a buddy, one is a spotty, and so on.
Correct.
Our basically long-term plan for this is how to emotionally engage the kid
Correct.
with this brand so that it becomes a legacy brand. So
Okay.
this is about Pugs at Play. Then we go to Furry Pals. That's our second core IP, which is into normal soft toys, generic soft toys, which is bears, dogs, animals, etc. into soft avatar. So
Correct.
this is again we supply this a lot to retailers, big retailers in the country. We supply to family entertainment centers as well, and we also supply to family entertainment centers globally.
Okay.
This range. So yeah, so
Okay.
Furry Pals is our next range. Then comes Girlies. So Girlies is a whole entire solution into girls category, where we have the activity sets, where we have journals, where we have scribble books, where we are developing makeup sets, etc. for the girls ranges. So again, this is an entire full set collection for girls.
Okay. Okay.
So and this is more than it has more than 30 SKUs in its portfolio.
Okay.
So this again, it's already in the market and it's already doing well with the Indian
Okay.
retailer. We plan to expand this globally very soon.
Okay.
And the other brands are currently into process. We have recently launched Fanster. Again, that's our own IP. This is into accessories. When you go to a store like, Mumuso, Miniso, etc., you find a lot of, collectible items like a keychain, luggage tags,
Yeah.
caps, etc. So this whole range has been designed, to get all of this collection under licensed portfolio under one
Okay.
umbrella. So
Okay.
Fanster is one umbrella. Under that, you may find different famous characters which
Okay.
appeal to age group as high as 30, 35, 40.
Okay.
So it is not restricted to only kids. So
Okay.
Fanster for us is about giving a total, fan solution
Okay.
to our customers. So
Okay.
and plus then we have your Minds at Play. It was a board game kind of an IP which we have launched, and we'll be developing more SKUs into it. And then further, we have 2Gs which will be developed under the back to school portfolio in a big way. Yes, yes.
So I think nice to know. So basically, just correct me if I'm wrong. So the Fanster product portfolio is something like giving merchandise, and displaying all these, characters. Is it right?
IPs, yeah, under different categories, be
Yeah,
it
exactly.
luggage tags, keychains, caps, passports,
Yeah.
etc., etc. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, Kumar sir, I just wanted to understand one thing also, which was visible from the prospectus and the document, is that the company claims that we've got an asset light model. Now, what does this mean? Does it mean that we outsource whatever we manufacture from some dedicated units, or do we have a establishment at our end and we make it and then take it to the final B2B kind of customer? Sir, हमारे यहाँ पे production कैसे होता है? Do you outsource some of your manufacturing requirements to vendors who are dedicated to us?
So here, I think we would say that we have a dual supply chain strategy. We are one of the few companies whose sourcing is set in India and whose sourcing is set in China. So we are not dependent on either India or either China per se. We use only third-party manufacturers. We don't own any manufacturing unit. Our strength is basically product identification, product design, product development, getting licensing approvals, getting all the certifications which are required for the safety of the children, etc., and then launching it into the market. So we don't own any manufacturing. We are asset light that ways.
Okay. I think nice to know. So basically, obviously, you don't have a leveraged balance sheet, and definitely returns are also much better. One thing which I wanted to understand, Kumar sir, is that on the prospectus side again, we saw that 10 to 11 customers account for a large percentage of your business. The concentration is about 10 clients account for about 68 to 69%. Now, is this business typically like this? Because typically customer बड़ा है तो obviously आप उसको ज़्यादा service करते हो. But typically, can we assume that over the next say 2 to 3 years, this customer base will become little more bigger, and your customer risk will become little more lesser, because 10 customers account for 69%. तो मेरे ख्याल से concentration काफी बड़ा लग रहा है, लेकिन आगे do you think this will improve by having a bigger set of customers once you go public?
No, I think absolutely. I think the current set of customers, what you see, it's a typical 80-20 kind of a parity ratio. जो होता है. So your top customers contribute obviously to the largest portfolio. But again, with our plans of going global, right now we already have acquired Strider's FZ LLC in Middle East. That acquisition has been done as on 27th of March of this year, of last year, I would say, 2025. So that Middle East company basically is one growth path, what we are currently looking at. The second growth path, what we are looking at is Strider's Hub, which we have already incorporated, and that will particularly look into direct operations into Middle East. So what we are planning to do is we are planning to directly distribute our goods to retailers like what we do in India. So we have two companies now outside India. One is Strider's Hub and Strider's FZ. Now Strider's FZ LLC will take care of global business. So we plan to do FOB shipments to all our customers globally. We have already appointed a global sales head, and he's already on board with us. We also participate in global toy fairs like Nuremberg Toy Fair, New York Toy Fair, etc. So our aspirations are basically to obviously increase the width of our geographies, to reduce dependencies on India, and obviously grow our business, in an international market.
Cool. No, I think nice that you told me, because my next question was relating to your export entity, but I think you answered all the questions. Mustafa ji, normally in the B2B business, if you can tell me, sir, how does pricing work? Like, you must be having a regular set of B2B clients, which Kumar sir told us. Pricing कैसे होता है? Like, depending on the product category or the new range. I mean, is it like, for large customers who have been your old customers, there's a mix of volume and value kind of consideration, थोड़ा relationship भी आपका होगा. So typically, how does the pricing in our industry work? Is there any formula, or there is a stack which is, there is a standard rate for this product, this is the pricing, for this product, this is the pricing? So pricing कैसे काम करता है?
So pricing is basically dependent on a lot of factors, sir. I think whenever we launch any new product category, we usually benchmark pricing against the competitors' pricing in terms of such if there is any similar product. what kind of pricing competitor is currently selling it. I think the second is the channel of distribution. For example, if you are planning a certain product range for a supermarket format, so here, the pricing has to be sharp because that's where, the volumes will come in. And
Okay.
again, if you have a differentiated product, for example, in our product portfolio, we have Pugset Play, which is mechanical plush toys. Now, in
Hmm.
India, there are not many people who actually manufacture mechanical plush toys. So there
Okay.
you have a unique selling point. So
Hmm.
there, you can price your product a bit higher, where you can enjoy good margins for yourself.
Okay.
Again, because of the MRP law, the price is fixed for all the customers. But again, the
Okay.
margin varies depending on the negotiation which you have had with each respective distributor and retailer in the region.
Okay. Mustafa ji, just one small query. If you could tell us a range, not an exact price. Typically, आपका starting range, at what price does the toy price start? Like for example, can somebody buy a toy at say 500 rupees or 1000 rupees, and how premium the toy price goes? If you could give us a range.
So again, if you see our overall product portfolio, again, I did not mention this earlier, but if you see, we are basically present in four broad categories. So you have back to school as a category, which consists of school bags, water bottles, lunch boxes, stationery items, where we represent a lot of licensed brands. And here again, the pricing varies between 79 rupees and goes as high as 2699, 2999 as well. The
Okay.
second category of product what we have is plush toys, where we represent almost all the major international studios, and also we have our own brand like Kumar mentioned, Furry Pals, which
Hmm.
consists of generic plush, cute-looking animal series of cats, dogs, rabbits. Here again, the pricing starts from a 299, goes all the way up to 1999 and 2499 as well.
Okay.
The third category of product what we have is role play and outdoor toys. Here again, the product consists of role play sets like kitchen sets, doctor sets. Then you have outdoor toys, which are your two-wheel and three-wheel kid scooters. You have footballs out here. So again, here also we represent almost all the major international brands. And again, the price point in this category is between a price point of 129 and goes as high as 2199 as well.
Okay.
And the fourth category of product what we have is accessories, fashion accessories, where we do sunglasses, watches, and different accessories like keychains, luggage tags, fridge magnets, which we are selling under our own IP Fanster. So
Okay.
your product price point actually starts from a 199 and goes as high as 799, 899 as well.
Okay.
Again, depending on the category of product and the nature of the product, because I think we are one of the very few companies who have such a diversified product mix.
Correct.
So there are not many companies in India who have such a diversified product mix across both licensed and own IP portfolio. So that's the reason our pricing range depends on the category of the product which we are launching.
Well, I think very nicely articulated by you, Mustafa ji. Tell me one thing, Mustafa ji, since you have been, dealing on the licensing side, you have been in the industry for a long time. What is the size of the market? Because toy market, incidentally, there are not many listed companies. तो
Yeah.
market size अगले 3-5 साल में कितना बड़ा हो सकता है? अभी तो हम, we are in the growth stage, but in the next 3-5 years, what is the size of the market available for us? Market wants to know the runway. कितना growth available है. So, sir, if you can tell us some data points, if you can share for us.
Yeah, see, again, the Indian toy market currently stands at a 7.6 billion dollar, and in the next 10 years, the Indian market is poised for a good CAGR growth of 9 to 10%. And
Okay.
again, majority part of this growth is coming because of the rising income population and the upper middle class population which is increasing in our country. Plus, if you see our overall product portfolio, currently we are just operating in 3 to 4 broad product categories. But there are many product categories within the toy arena, which is like construction. You have your action figurines, you have your then you also have your wood-based toys, and that category we have not yet explored yet. So I think even there's going to be a lot of demand for impulse price point products as well, because in India, supermarket as a format is growing drastically. So we also have plans to launch impulse-based toys, which will be catering to the B category stores and the supermarkets in India. And
Okay.
also with the e-commerce presence, I think the reach to rural and urban cities has increased drastically. So earlier the visibility was not there, but because of the e-commerce presence also, now you have visibility for your own brands. So
Okay.
we are, I think we are very excited about the kind of growth we are anticipating for ourselves in the Indian market. And similarly, Middle East also as a market currently is a rich market. You have growing young population, rich population out there, and again, all the nuclear families, want licensed toys, good quality toys. And currently, the Middle East market is also at a 1.5 billion. But again, though the size looks smaller, but again, in India, if you see a major part of the market is unorganized, whereas in Middle East, it's a much more organized market. So your customer share is relatively far higher out there. And
Yeah.
again, Middle East also as a market is going to grow at a CAGR of 5 to 6% year on year for the next 10 years. So
Well,
I
I
think,
think very nicely articulated by you, Mustafa. I think markets are definitely excited on this new product category. Tell me one thing: how important is China in the overall game? Because we hear a lot of news flows that China is one of the largest players in the toy market. Even India may abhi bhi 70-80%. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, toys are imported from China. So,
yeah.
sir, what is your thought process? I mean, are Indian companies creative enough in terms of R&D, in terms of product development? Because toys require new creative minds, to encourage kids. तो सर इसके बारे में क्या आपका thought है?
I think China, so we don't call China as a country, we call it a factory because I think the kind of manufacturing options or sourcing you have in China, because they started also 40, 50 years back. I think in India, that entire initiative has started just 6, 7 years back. So it's going to take us some time, before we can develop expertise and probably capacities to compete with a country like China. I think the good part about our company is that, because of the dual supply chain advantage, what we have, where we have sourcing which is extremely strong in China and we have sourcing in India as well. So for our entire Middle East market and for global markets, again, all the sourcing will happen from China. In India, especially toys, because of the BIS norms, we have to buy from the local manufacturers out here. But there are a lot of other product categories which Striders is into, like back to school, like fashion accessories, where imports are still allowed. So I feel that right now the capacity is what we are consuming for Plush in India. We are, in fact, we have a tie-up with a Indian manufacturer for Plush factory, and their 100% of the capacity is consumed by us. So as and when the capacity increases, I'm sure there are more countries, whether it's Middle East or whether it's Europe, who want sourcing out of India as well. So I
Okay.
think, so at the moment, I would say that yes, we still have a long way to go before we can compete ourselves with China. But
Yeah.
I think as a business, we have a fine blend between both the manufacturing sourcing options at the moment.
Okay. No, I think understood. Kumar sir, now tell me one thing that we must be getting a lot of repeat business. Obviously we have a very good B2B kind of supply chain. Sir, what is the key differentiator for us? Because if we are doing well, our product quality is good. People like our products, we obviously come back again. But in your
Right.
own words, if you can tell us 2, 3 qualitative points, what is something different about our company as compared to competition? Competition तो देखिए हर इंडस्ट्री में होता है. I mean, we are there are other players.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
sir, if you can
Absolutely.
share 2, 3 qualitative points for us.
So I think the most important differentiating factor for us is that the blend between the retail understanding and the distribution expertise, what we both have together. So when we provide, a product to a customer, we provide an entire solution, like what I said earlier. So we are solution providers. Matlab, rather than just, somebody is just making a couple of SKUs and presenting it to the retailer, we provide an entire solution, end-to-end solution. So like if जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि in terms of mechanical plush, we have more than 40 plus SKUs in the range. In back to school, we have the entire portfolio of licensing portfolio of bags, bottles, lunch boxes, stationery sets, etc. In girlies, we have more than 30 SKUs. So we focus on quality, we focus on trend, and we focus on the entire width and depth of the category. So that's what makes us very different. That our customers basically sees us that okay, Striders के पास जाओ तो ये category हमारे retail में completely fit हो जाएगी. They
बराबर.
don't need to go anywhere else.
Okay.
And we
Understood.
keep on developing these ranges. In fact, even in terms of licensing, it's a very complicated kind of a business to understand. It's not easy for people to, right from the scratch, develop products, get the licenses approved from the licensor, choose the factory which is already approved, licensor approved factory, and then, put the products into the market. And that entire supply chain has been mastered by Mustafa, because his licensing experience, we are leveraging that in a big way currently. And that kind of a strength what we currently have, I think that's also one of the one of the unique points what we have as a company.
Okay. And I think understood. Kumar sir, now let's come to the most important question for today. I think we are going public, so it's a big achievement for both of you. I think you all are now going to go public. Sir, tell us what is the main objective of raising money, and where are these funds going to be utilized?
So I think I'll tell you basically how the objects will look like. So most of them is working capital. There will be monies close to the tune of 10 to 12 crores which will be invested into India business as working capital. We are starting off Striders Hub. We have already registered Striders Hub in Middle East, which will look into the local supplies to local retailers. We'll be investing almost 6.5 crores there for the Middle East business, because that business is very exciting in terms of bottom line. Very strong bottom line play there. We don't want to miss the low-hanging fruit. I've already worked in that market, as I told you earlier in my experiences, and we both have evaluated that market. That market will be very critical for us. And then you have the global side of the business, Striders FZ LLC, which will look into the global play, where we will do FOB business with the customers, where we supply goods directly from China, India to our customers. So there we'll be investing some part of the IPO proceeds. 3 CR will be going in terms of retirement of loans, which we had taken when we started off the company. It was an NBFC loan which will be retiring. And that's about it. This is how the IPO proceeds will be invested.
Okay, understood. Normally, Kumar sir, what's the working capital cycle for us for both the licensed brands and the own brands which you make? If you could give us a broad range, working capital cycle हमारे लिए कितना बड़ा होता है?
So overall in the distribution business, typically the working capital ranges anywhere between 150 and 190 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes. So that is the kind of working capital cycle what we currently operate in distribution business. But in our Striders FZ LLC business, which will be global, there the working capital requirement is not there. Normally it's an FOB business. There typically we get advances from our customers, and then 70% is paid on bill of lading. So that's how the operations go on the global side of the business. We may obviously have to give credit to some of our big retailers, like if we start working with the biggies in US, like a Walmart or etc. There we need to extend credit. Other than that, our global side of the business will not require much of working capital. But yes, India and Middle East will require a bit of working capital to expand.
No, I think so. One thing is very clear. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So it means working capital is a very critical component of our business to actually ramp up growth. That is understood.
Yes, between these two countries, but we are also aspiring to take our global business to new heights. If you see the overall average working capital requirement, that will be obviously tuned down because of the global business what will be happening.
No, I think understood. Now, Kumar sir, on the financials, I think numbers have been pretty solid. I was just seeing the prospectus. We have got a revenue of 60 crores from 42 crores last year. PAT has also gone up to 8 crores from 4.28 crores. Now, this was, FY25. I just wanted to understand, sir, first tell me what was the key reason for this profit almost doubling from 4 crores to 8 crores? And can you give us some flavor on, up till December, because now we are in the month of February, whatever you can share on the revenue side, on the profit side, what has been the performance, because investors would like to know whether the kind of growth we showed last year, can we assume that this year also growth will be similarly strong, in favor of the company?
Right. So let me talk about, increasing margins from last year, couple of years back to obviously 25 FY. So that was more about the leveraging effect which took place. We entered into newer categories. That time we also, our expenses did not grow at that level during that
Right.
period per se. So that impact came into play, and we saw that expansion in margins that particular year. Now, if you talk about till the current year, we have almost done close to around 50 CR till December,
Correct.
and at a PAT margin of around 4 CR consolidated
Right.
as of now.
Okay.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
typically, is this business seasonal, Mustafa ji? Like second half is better than the first half. I mean, is it something similar like that?
Yeah, I think second half is always very strong for us because usually October, November, December are very strong months for the toy business, right? Because
Okay.
Christmas is a big season
Yeah.
for us, and from Jan, Feb, March is when our back to school kicks in a big way. So if
Okay.
you see our overall portfolio, back to school contributes close to around 35 to 40% to our overall revenue mix. So
Okay.
that's the reason Jan, Feb, March is a very critical quarter for us because majority of our back to school billing happens during these 3 months. Because
Okay.
India is it's a big market, right? So usually your north and east, the school starts by mid of April. So all the buying from the retailers and distributors usually commences from end of Jan and goes on till mid of March.
Okay.
Again, west and south in India, the school starts by mid of June. The retail and the distribution buying usually starts from mid of March, and it takes place until mid of April because the consumer buying starts probably towards mid of May and goes on to mid of June. That is
Okay.
one of the reasons why Jan, Feb, March for us is a very critical quarter, and it's the
Okay.
biggest quarter for us in our overall business.
Okay. No, no, understood.
This will actually change in the next year because we are expanding into
Yeah,
Middle Eastern people.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
correct.
Exactly.
because the,
Yeah,
the share of back to school will drastically go down
Correct.
yes.
for us next year onwards. Yes, yes.
Kumar sir, now one question which is also present in the prospectus. I think if you can give clarity to our investors. I mean, is this the only business which we want to focus on? Because I believe you all have got some other private companies also. So is it a fact that those companies, the strategic focus will be different? This company will be focused on this product vertical, and there will be no kind of deflection to any other company. सारा business यही company में आप करेंगे? Investors would like to know.
Absolutely. In fact, the other companies, what we have already taken over 100%.
Okay.
Striders FZ LLC, we have 100% taken over, and it's now a 100% subsidiary of Striders Impex Limited. Striders
Okay.
Distribution also we have taken 100%, and now that also is a 100% subsidiary of our Striders Impex Limited. That's the parent company. So we don't
Okay.
have currently interest in any other company. This is the only company, and this is our only focus
Okay.
for the next many, many years.
No, I think thank you for the clarification. Last question now, both of you, I think, because both of you handle very different verticals in the company. Sir, हमारे धंधे में सबसे बड़ा risk क्या है? Like, as you said, toys, you need to be creative. Every year something new comes. So, sir, in our business, what is the main risk? Like, whenever you come to your office every day morning, what is the first thing which is topmost in your mind? आपको क्या क्या चीज ऐसी चाहिए कि धंधा 24/7 smoothly चलना चाहिए? तो सर, if you can tell us.
I think whenever me and Mustafa speak, we normally aim at how do we execute at top level. Execution is the key.
Correct.
We obviously are into multiple verticals. We are building teams right now in the organization, basically. So right now, me and Mustafa both were involved into the whole business. Now the team is getting built up. So that point of time, the execution, what we thought was one of the biggest risks, in terms of expansion. But now, as we are getting teams on board, that thing will become easier and the risk will go down in the coming
Okay.
years. Yeah.
I think understood. I think thank you very much, both of you. I think Mustafa ji and Kumar sir, I think it was very nice to talk to both of you. And I think, please accept my best wishes to you, entire management team, and for the public issue also. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Thank you for
Lovely
your time.
catching up.
Yeah.
Yeah.